Digital marketing is evolving faster than ever, and if you're not keeping up, then you're falling behind and you don't want to get left behind. So let's get into the top digital marketing trends that you need to know so you can catch up, mustard. You get it? Catch up, mustard. Look, I apologize about the condiment joke, the ketchup mustard. I couldn't resist. But seriously, being in tune with what is working in the digital marketing landscape has allowed me to make over 7 figures online in my business, which is one digital product doing a little over 900K. And if you are not in tune with what is working right now, then you will be left behind and be trying to catch up like 99% of people, because 99% of people are focused on the wrong things. So let's get into it. So trend number one is the dominance of short form video content, right? Now, unless you've been hiding under a rock, you can see that shorts are highly being pushed to you right now. Whether you're on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, short form content is dominating the space right now, right? But since this is the number one trend, a lot of times when stuff is trending, you need to go opposite of the trend. A lot of times if everybody is going left, you need to go right. So even though short form content is the most trendy thing right now, I highly suggest that you don't focus on it at all, because short form content is really only working for content creators, and you don't want to be a content creator. You're an entrepreneur. So you want to be what I call a contentpreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur that uses content to drive traffic to their business, and short form content really doesn't do it. Why? Because people buy stuff from people that they know, like, and trust. And it's really hard to build the know, like, and trust factor with this short form content. It's darn near impossible. And the reason for this is because the mind frame that people are in when they're consuming short form content. So just think about it. When are you watching short form content? It's when you're just mindlessly scrolling or doom scrolling or just passing the time. It's when you're sitting on the toilet. It's when you're waiting in line at the grocery store. It's when you're sitting at a stoplight real quick and then people grab their phone and just scroll real quick, which please do not do that stuff. Get your phones out of your hands when you're driving. But you're not locked in and you're not focused. So I prove it to you right now. Can you remember the last piece of short form content that you saw? Can you remember who it was by? Can you remember what was said? No, but I bet you can remember the last long form YouTube video that you watched, and I bet you can remember who it was by, right? Yes, you can remember that. Why? Because you're in a different mind frame when you're sitting and you're consuming long form media. If you're on a platform like YouTube, you're making the decision to see something that interests you and click it, and then you're making a decision to sit there and watch it for an extended period of time, versus with short form content, you're just sitting there mindlessly scrolling. You're not actively choosing what it is that you want to watch. Stuff is just getting thrown in your face, and then you're just digesting it for a couple seconds, seeing if you want to watch it for a little bit more, and then scrolling past it. You're not really tuned into it for real. And this is great for us as entrepreneurs or those contentpreneurs. Remember, those people that use content to drive traffic to their actual business, because if everybody is sitting here focused on this, the wrong thing, then it's actually going to be a lane less traveled, because we're literally going to be the only person in our lane with no traffic, because that short form content, it's a crowded space. And all those short form creators, they wish that they could build a long form audience. And a lot of people, they're scared of long form content because it's typically a slower build, right? Like, yes, doing short form, you may be able to garner an audience faster, but what type of audience are you getting? Typically, it's not going to be an audience of buyers. Why? Because short form content is normally just made to entertain people. So they're just getting people's eyeballs, but they can't ever monetize those eyeballs. That's why you start to see people talking about how they got burnt out or they're quitting content creation or whatnot, because they didn't have any game plan to actually build an audience for their business. They just went around and was trying to do stuff to get eyeballs and to get viral for who knows why, because they thought that views equal money when they don't. Business equals money. And yeah, I know that there are a few creators that are really making money out there, but do you know how many eyeballs that they have to get? And then even with that, they don't understand the value of the audience that they're building, because the only way that they're making money is that other people are paying them to promote their business. They don't have a business to promote themselves. And you don't need to have a big audience in order to make a lot of money online in your business, which goes into trend number 2, the rise of the micro niche personal brand. right? The micro niche personal brand. Because people that have way smaller audiences are actually making way more money just by having this micro niche personal brand. And there's this article that I read by a guy by the name of Kevin Kelly, and the article's called 1000 True Fans. This changed my life. I highly suggest that you read it, right? But Kevin Kelly, the whole concept in this article, 1000 True Fans, was that if you can get 1000 people paying you $100 per year, then you'll have your six-figure business, right? Now, once you just understand that concept, you can move the numbers around. It doesn't have to be 1000 true fans. Like, I got a lot of inspiration from this guy up in Vancouver, Canada, from a small YouTube channel that had like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers, maybe even less than that. Within a 6-month span, he had built a $30,000 per month business from scratch from that small audience because he had 300 people paying him $100 per month. So his 1000 true fans was actually 300 to get to $1,000 per day benchmark within a 6-month span. Now he makes multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars per month, but still, his YouTube channel within the scope of YouTube is still small. He only has like 20-something thousand subscribers, not the biggest audience. I'm telling you, I personally know people that have 1 million subscribers. They're not making anywhere near multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. But he is with a smaller audience. Why? Because he has a micro niche personal brand. And that's all you need, a small niche personal brand helping specific people with a specific problem. So somebody, they may be in fitness, right? And somebody, they'll just say like, oh, I'm in fitness, I'm helping everybody get in shape. Or they could have a micro niche personal brand helping specific people with a specific problem, and they can help over 40-year-old women get washboard abs, right? You see how that's way more specific, and you wouldn't need to get in front of everybody in order to actually cut through and make some money within the fitness niche. And then you could own a word or phrase amongst the internet world to where you become synonymous with. So a word may be belly fat, right? So in all your content, women over 40 that are looking to get rid of this belly fat and get some abs, you will be the #1 person that will be known for that. And you wouldn't have to get a lot of people to actually monetize. Even using myself as an example, yeah, I'm in the make money online space, even though I hate the make money online space, but I make business content, right? But there's a lot of businesses that people can do. I'm not out here talking about how somebody with the lawn care service can go and get more houses or get more clients to cut their lawns. I'm helping people make money online by monetizing their knowledge and information and skill sets that they already acquired through creating and scaling digital products. That's different. I'm not out here trying to get to everybody. I don't want to help the person that has a boxing gym generate more revenue for their boxing gym. I help people that want to monetize their information through digital products, which leads into number 3. Once you realize that all that you need is a micro niche personal brand, you can use AI to help you further power your personalization, right? And this is key. Now, here's the thing with AI. A lot of people, yeah, they're familiar with something like a chat GPT, right? But AI is stupid. AI is only good for what it is that you prompt it with. So in order to get AI, artificial intelligence, to really work for you, you have to use what I like to call actual intelligence. You have to use some real AI in order to get the fake AI to work. So you have to use actual intelligence to get artificial intelligence to work for you, because artificial intelligence is actually dumb and it can only work off of what we prompt it to do. So if you understand that you only need a micro niche personal brand and that you only need to help specific people with a single specific problem, then you can use AI to help you get hyper personalized marketing strategies, because you're going to know who it is that you're helping and you're going to know who your intended avatar is. So the AI can actually help you with helping those specific people with giving you marketing strategies, whether that be through content creation, whether that be through email campaigns, whether that be through content ideas. AI, it can help you with that, but it can only help you with that if you know who it is that you're actually helping. And if you know that you only need to get in front of a small pool of people, it can really, really help you with that. And when I'm saying it can help you with that, I'm not saying that you will have to just do whatever the AI tells you to do. But if you know how to properly prompt it, it will at least give you some good ideas to use as a foundation. And then you can use your actual AI, your actual intelligence, to see some of the ideas that it gives you, and then you'll be able to think for yourself to make something that will be unique in the marketplace. But AI is no longer the future, it's the present. But the only people that are winning with it are those people that mix the actual intelligence with the artificial intelligence. Most people don't know who it is that they're helping because they don't know who it is that they're serving, because they don't know who their intended avatar is. Therefore, they don't know what to make for those people because they don't know what problems to solve. Therefore, when they try to use AI, they're just really getting no results from the feedback that they're getting into it because they don't know what specific stuff to put into it. But thankfully, you will know what to put into it because you're going to make stuff really, really simple for you, because you're only going to be focused on having a micro niche personal brand helping specific people with a specific problem. Now, trend number 4, right? You may have heard of SEO, right? You're familiar with SEO most likely, which stands for search engine optimization. Well, have you ever heard of voice search optimization, right? A lot of people, they're not even aware of voice search optimization. So even just think about how you use your phone or Siri, or if you have an Alexa or Amazon product, whatever. A lot of times, even on Google, even on ChatGPT, people, they're speaking into stuff when they're searching for stuff. So you need to make sure that your content is optimized for voice search optimization. And here's the thing, even with SEO, even with search engine optimization, and people, they're always thinking about like how they can use certain keywords to rank on Google or whatnot, or here on YouTube, they think about like what long tail keywords can they use to rank for SEO on YouTube and whatnot. But with AI, SEO is kind of starting to become irrelevant, because even just think about when you Google something, what's the first thing that comes up on Google? It's not something that's ranked in SEO anymore, right? AI is basically just giving you the answers. Like when you Google something, right? So typically you Google something, their AI is coming up with the answer for you, not something that is optimized for search. And if you even think about YouTube, which I love YouTube because YouTube is a search engine, like YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet because Google is the number 1 search engine, and Google owns YouTube, which is the number 2 search engine. And people that are using the search bar on YouTube all the time, nonstop, all day, every day, right? So even with this being true, and you can get a lot of traffic by utilizing key phrases, keywords, long tail keywords on YouTube, it's just a slower burn, because even though people are searching on YouTube, that's not what they primarily do on YouTube, right? So if you optimize your content for voice search optimization, you need to be aware of what it is that you're saying in your content, because we want to give these platforms as much metadata as possible. So the way that they're ranking this stuff on the platforms or something like YouTube, the voice and what you're saying matters a lot, so it knows who to put that stuff in front of, because YouTubers even came out and said that keywords are basically irrelevant now, right? They said keywords and tags and all that type of stuff on YouTube is basically irrelevant. Like they still have them as an option, but the tags are only there for like spelling errors and whatnot. So if you know that, then you would have to put some of those keywords that people used to put in the tags and whatnot. You need to make sure that you say those in your actual content, because YouTube, it knows everything that you're saying in the transcript. Therefore, its AI and its algorithm will know who to place that content in front of. So for that person that is focused on building a micro niche personal brand, helping women over 40 lose belly fat to get washboard abs, then they probably need to say in their content, women over 40 looking to use belly fat. Now, I'm not saying that you just need to be robotic and just be like, I am helping women over 40 lose belly fat to get washboard abs. I'm helping women over 40. If you're a woman over 40 looking to lose belly fat, but there does need to be key points in your content to where you are saying certain things to where you can let the algorithm know who your content is intended for, because they're breaking down the transcripts and the AI of these algorithms is going through all the transcripts to seeing who that content is actually intended for, and then they're placing that content in front of people. So you need to be voice search optimized. Yeah, for one, because people are speaking into their phones and they're speaking into their devices when they're searching, but the reason why I do it and the reason why I'm focused on it is because I know a platform like YouTube or whatnot is going to comb through my transcript and is going to see and analyze all the words that I say. And then that is going to be a huge part of the metadata that's going to help it put my stuff in front of who it's intended for. So since I say that I help people with digital products, for example, I'll say digital products all throughout my content. If I'm saying something about digital marketing, I may say digital marketing somewhere all throughout my content. If I'm saying something about entrepreneurs, I may say something about entrepreneurs all through my content. And the fifth trend is this. And I don't know if you've been able to see this, but I can see it, and it's so refreshing. It's ethical marketing. This is a big trend right now. Ethical marketing, because so many people have been done dirty by people's dirty marketing. And guess what? Ethical marketing is winning right now. Oh, remember, I said people buy stuff from people that they know, like, and trust, right? So now people are aligning themselves with micro niche personal brands that stand for something, right? So you have to be moving with integrity out here. You have to be moving with ethical marketing, because people are going to align themselves with people with integrity and with people that stand for something. Ethical marketing isn't optional anymore, because there's so many people that didn't care about people at all. Like, they love the money and use the people instead of using the money to love the people. That people, they feel a disdain, and that people's guards are up automatically, which they should be. And the average consumer in any industry, in any niche, they're not as dumb as they once were. They're aware and they're skeptical as they should be. So ethical marketing is not an option anymore. It's a must. And then trend 6 is that influencer partnerships, they are evolving, right? Influencer, creator, whatever you want to put it, right? They're evolving. And remember, like I said, we don't want to be influencers. We don't want to be content creators. We want to be entrepreneurs or contentpreneurs, people that use content to drive traffic to our business. But these partnerships, they're evolving. And when I say this, I'm not talking about the partnership that all of these influencers and content creators are talking about, whereas they sit there and in their video they talk about some product that they don't use just because they've been paid with it, and then they call it a brand partnership. Like, nah, somebody just paid you for advertisements. That's not a partnership. When I say these partnerships are evolving, I truly mean a partnership, because if you can build up your leverage within the actual space, a lot of businesses and other brands are actually truly partnering with the micro niche personal brand, and that person is getting equity into these companies. So if I can give you an example on a large scale, right? I'll just name maybe the number one guy right now, or one of the number one guys in the entrepreneurial space, right? This guy named Alex Hormozy. Well, if you're familiar with Alex Hormozy, he leveraged his personal brand to get equity in a platform called School. Because if you didn't know, the person who created, launched, and owned School is a guy by the name of Sam Ovens. Well, Sam Ovens, he doesn't like making content. He's just some little beady-eyed guy that has this little accent to where it's when he talks, people just think everything that he says is so smart because of his accent, right? But Hormozy leveraged his personal brand to actually get equity into School, somebody else in the make money online space, right? There's this guy named Iman Ghazi. I'm just giving you some examples of some people with some large audiences that you may possibly be familiar with, right? But Iman Ghazi, he leveraged his personal brand, and there's this platform called WAP where people sell digital products on and stuff, right? Well, Iman Gadzhi was actually able to partner and he now has equity and ownership in WAP. This stuff isn't like some yo, let me pay you this much money to talk about our product like all these YouTubers and stuff be talking about. This is an actual partnership. That's why I'm saying that these influencer partnership and creator partnerships and whatnot, they're evolving. Like, this is big business. And even on the entertainment side, there's somebody like a Logan Paul. And again, I'm just using these big names of just people that have audiences of millions just as an example, because you may not be familiar with some of the micro niche personal brand examples that I know of. But Logan Paul leveraged his personal brand with a sports beverage called Prime. Right, but if I could give you an example of somebody else that may have a smaller personal brand that you may be familiar with, there's a channel on YouTube called vidIQ, right? It's called vidIQ. vidIQ is basically a Google Chrome extension to help you track your YouTube analytics and whatnot, right? But the number one guy that makes content for vidIQ, he doesn't own anything of vidIQ. A lot of people, they don't know that there's this guy that wears glasses, right? And he makes all their videos. And I believe his relationship with vidIQ started because he made a video about how he was using vidIQ. They reached out to him and now he like makes all their content. I thought he owned the joint, but he doesn't. He basically works for him. But I'm like, if that dude flipped that and he built his own micro niche personal brand up himself, then somebody like vidIQ, he would have had the leverage to actually get ownership and equity in that, because they would have reached out for that. And he's like, yo, you have this great product and I have built the personal brand and the audience to where people know, like, and trust me, but they don't know, like, and trust you. Yeah, I do the work for you. Give me a little piece of that. Give me that ownership of that. There's somebody else that I'm familiar with, right? They actually have ownership in certain dental businesses because of their skill set in acquiring new customers and billing. They have a micro niche personal brand that these dentists are familiar with, but they actually take ownership in the dentistry because of the value that they bring. And they only have like a handful, like a few thousand followers. But because of their micro niche personal brand and what they became known for, and what the problem is that they can solve for these dental offices, they actually take equity in them. And these partnerships are evolving because the quote unquote creators, they are actually learning their values. And it's because these creators aren't creators, they're entrepreneurs or contentpreneurs. They're entrepreneurs that use content to drive traffic to their business. So since they already understand business and they're making money for themselves through what it is that they do, and then driving traffic to what it is that they do through their content, other people that don't have that skill set are reaching out to them. And now they're saying, whoa, hey, I know that you want to pay me, but instead of just paying me, I want to own that joint because I understand my value. And these are true partnerships that are building and they're evolving, which leads back into the fifth one. That's why ethical marketing is so important, because people buy stuff from people that they know, like, and trust. So these real brand partnerships are happening because somebody else can see the value that they bring, because they can see the audience that they've cultivated that know, like, and trust them. And look, let me get this whiteboard out the way so you can really look at me real quick. The thing that is going to separate you in a digital marketing space is focusing on the right stuff. And everybody is so distracted and focused on all the wrong stuff that isn't going to move the needle for them in their business. I'm telling you, if you just lock in on these 6, you get numbers coming in online, your business, like all of them that you see on the screen right now. So if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join the Credit at the Top community. For weekly coaching from myself, all my exclusive trainings, plus a private community and entrepreneurs, all designed to grow your business online. It's only $97 a month to join right now. That's less than a cup of coffee per day. So click the link down in the description to tap in, and I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But look, the foundation of stuff that happens in the marketing world is pretty much going to stay the same forever. But there are going to be new trends that happen every so often, and you need to be up on the latest trends. You need to be up on what is moving. You need to be up on what's moving in the now. And then once you are aware of what is working right now, you'll start to see certain movements and certain trends to whereas you can predict where the market is going and you can move first and get first movers advantage and start winning. And then everybody else will have to catch up to you instead of you having to catch up with them. Mustard. I'm sorry I did it again. But I'm telling you, this stuff works if you work it. So go ahead and click the link down in the description if you want to tap into the community. And I see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. Go ahead and check out this video right here about how you can basically just sell air and make a whole bunch of money with absolutely nothing. I'm serious. It's crowded at the top.